There's some compromising in today's passage. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood remains in me, and I in them. That's one way to make sure that Christ is with us, is in us, accompanies us, is our companion. Just as the living Father sent me, and I have life because of the Father, so also the one who feeds on me will have life because of me. But what I find extremely important for our own meditation today is the last sentence. Unlike your ancestors who ate and still die, whoever eats this bread will live forever. One of the templates of our own life as a Christian is simply the life of Israel and the history of Israel. And one of the most important experiences of Israel was freedom from Egypt and a long trek of 40 years through the desert, a trek to the Promised Land. Now that's us. We have crossed the Red Sea. We were baptized in the waters of baptism, which was the symbol of the Red Sea. And through that Red Sea, through baptism, we were freed from slavery to sin. We were freed of original sin, and we began our earthly journey. Now that journey is filled, as it was for the Israelites, with all kinds of horrors and difficulties, all kinds of reversals. And finally, the people were given a sign that God loved them, and God was with them on this very difficult journey. He gave them manna in the desert, a food that was mysterious, a food that helped them to survive and sustain them on their way to the Promised Land. Now, whether you realize it or not, we are all on that journey. We're all headed towards the Promised Land. The Promised Land for us is nothing less than heaven itself. The one awaiting us in heaven is a Father who, in his care and in his love, has bestowed upon us many manifestations of his love. And in fact, the glory of God is his people who are with him and are one with him. Now, not many of us would say, well, do you realize that I am the glory of God? And God takes delight in me. And yet that's the truth of the matter. God takes delight in his people. The glory of God is his people fully alive, his people fully invested in this journey towards him. And so we too have been given a food mysterious and a food to sustain us on the journey. Nothing less than bread and wine made body and blood of Christ. That we might be strengthened for the journey. That we might finally make it to the Promised Land. That we might not lose our hope on the journey. That we might know and really know that we are companions on the journey. That we have not been abandoned, but that Christ continues to journey with each and every one of us. How he journeys depends on the amount of our faith and how we are connected to the Lord. Those who are deeply connected with the Lord understand that he is their companion day in and day out. The less that one is, of course, tied into that reality, the less one has an experience of Christ. The less one even understands that Christ is indeed the one who is faithful, the one who walks with us, the one who is leading us to that Promised Land through the desert years. And these are the desert years. These are the years of challenge. These are the years when we have all kinds of reversals. These are the years that ultimately will end in death for each and every one of us. On our way to the Promised Land, it's in